In-depth movie highlights here. Tapping in with another one. The story begins in a crowded train station. Hundreds of passengers are bustling to get inside a train, among which is a father named Jung. He has come along with his little son and teenage daughter. But before he boards his train, something unusual happens. The station staff rushes to stop a mysterious train from entering the station, because it's not supposed to be there. After the second train stops, everyone goes to check on it. To their horror, when they open one of the compartments, a load of dead bodies and rats pour out of it. Jung also sees the horrific scene, and becomes worried that something bad must be going on. As he continues peeking through the window, a thug picks a fight with him, claiming that he is in his seat. Jung apologizes for the inconvenience, but the thug doesn't stop bullying him and his daughter, Wei. Fortunately, before things can escalate, a good Samaritan by the name of Sean intervenes and escorts the father-daughter duo from there. After the minor incident, Wei thanks Sean for helping them out while Jung starts wandering around the train. Just then, the other passengers hear a strange sound from the ceiling, and the camera zooms in to show that the ceiling is infested with a herd of rats. In the next compartment that houses elite people, Jung unexpectedly sees his long-lost daughter Ling with her husband, who is now an army major. He angrily approaches her, claiming that it took him years to find her. However, he starts forcing Ling to come with him. Nearby army officers take control of Jung. Her husband inquires if she knows the man, and originally lies that she doesn't. As a result, Jung is taken to a dark room and chained to his hands by the officers. He's being punished for the attempted assault of the major's wife. Just then, officers and Jung see another man, who is chained in a corner. One of the officers goes to check on him, but the man is shaking weirdly. When he turns, it's revealed that he has been bitten by deadly rats. Suddenly, the vicious rodents swarm the room and start crawling over the officers. Meanwhile, Jung's son is attracted by a weird sound and follows it. He soon realizes that something is moving under a cloth, and when he slowly removes it, it only turns out to be a cat on the lookout for something. Inside another compartment, a woman hears a squawking sound from the ceiling and gets annoyed. And so she is supposed to do something about it. Obliging to the request, the man brings out a stick and starts banging on the roof of the train. Unfortunately, he knocks over a small ventilator, from which thousands of rats start pouring inside. No time to attack all the passengers and finish them. Meanwhile, the major of the train's captain naturally attacks the rodents to cover the vehicle. Appears as if they are well aware of what's going on. After packing their belongings, to escape the safe compartment. Elsewhere, inside the dark room, Jung watches the doors, while the officers put the battle right in front of his eyes. Terrified that he is next, Jung starts saying his final prayers. After waiting for a while, this is when he realizes that the rats are afraid of someone. Hence, he quickly grabs the key to his chain and is lying on the floor and outlocks himself. However, once he is outside, Jung sees that the compartment is full of dead bodies. Also, rats are crawling all over the floor. But fortunately, he slowly climbs above the seats and manages to escape. After reaching the next compartment, Jung warns the passengers about the deadly rats, but the people just make fun of him. They assume that he is hallucinating on drugs. Because of the insults, Jung takes his daughter, Wei, and moves to the next compartment. Just then, an injured man arrives at the back door of the previous compartment and thuds dead on the ground. The other passengers, who have now become anxious, see something moving under the man's cloth, and it turns out to be a rat. Soon enough, thousands of rats break through the door and attack everyone on sight. Sean tries his best to escort as many people as he can into the next compartment, but seeing the rats getting closer, he closes the door. At the same time, the officers also lock the other compartments behind them, leaving the passengers on one side to die. Ling, who is worried about her family, tries to convince her husband to open the door, but he does not listen. Now, Jung, his children, Sean, and another guy are trapped in the compartment, with nowhere to escape. To make matters worse, thousands of rats have ganged up, and are attempting to break the door that separates them from the humans. It appears as if our protagonists have reached their doom, but just then, Sean finds a way to get out through the ceiling. Jung and his children are also pulled out of the compartment, but the last passenger remains. Unfortunately, it is too late for him as the rodents burst out of the door and kill him. Meanwhile, due to the increasing danger, the captain of the train comes up with a plan to disconnect the ladder carriages. This is the section where Jung, his family, and hundreds of other people are residing. Ling is totally against the plan, but the major once again disregards her wishes and detaches the carriages. Sean, who notices the carriages splitting, immediately jumps to the first half of the train and manages to save Wei as well. But when it is Jung and his son's turn to jump, the train starts blasting from the back. Thankfully, at the last second, the father-son duo takes a leap of faith, and Sean manages to catch them. After a while, as Ling and the other passengers are mourning the loss of their family members, Jung and the group arrive at their compartment. Ling is relieved to see her family alive, but due to her bad past with her father, she doesn't approach them. In the next scene, one of the passengers suddenly falls unconscious on the floor. It is revealed that he has been bitten by the rodents and is now infected. Because of this, the officers decide to separate the infected ones and keep them quarantined. Jung anxiously checks his children to make sure that they are fine. He notices that his son has been bitten. He is devastated. Realizing that his son doesn't have much time, Jung reveals to the passengers that he works in the health department and a few days ago, he was assigned to give medicine that can reduce the infection of the rodents. The medicine is stored in a hospital, which is in the next district. However, the captain doesn't want to make any stops since the rodents are too dangerous and they will just be wasting time. This divides the people into two groups, and during the commotion, a thug brings out a gun and keeps the captain hostage. He then demands that they will be stopping by, as everyone needs medicine. Left with no choice, the captain agrees. After an hour, the train arrives at the district, and Jung, Wei, Sean, and the other passengers volunteer for the mission. The train driver gives them 2 hours to get back to the station. He tells them that once the time exceeds, the train must depart considering the safety of the other passengers. Soon, the group arrives at a town, but it has been completely destroyed. Moving ahead, we see a pile of dead bodies laying on the beach. Has no choice but to walk over those bodies to reach the hospital. Crossing the roads of the group to see where the rest of the beast or whatever comes their way. Unfortunately, they are also hiding from sunlight. Jung notices this and he suggests his group walk on top of nearby hills. Sadly, the guy loses his grip and slips down. Jung and the others can only walk to the next ground around the roads. Meanwhile, the man from the town gets on the train and informs the passengers that the rats have stored in the daylight. They can be more dangerous and deadly during night. During this, the passengers presume the train will flew away. Suddenly, dark clouds start to cover the town, covering the sunlight. This makes the rodents come out from the shadows and roll down on his group. Sadly, another man loses his life when he slips down. The rest of the group somehow makes it to the hospital, but Sean injures his leg in the process. Inside, they are attacked by a person, but Jung immediately calms him, saying that they are here for the medicine and mean no harm. Hearing this, the man introduces himself as the caretaker of the place and leads the group to the hospital warehouse. Along the way, they come across millions of rats squeaking, crawling, and waiting for their next prey. The group then uses fire to scare away the rodents. Back in the train, the passengers along with the thugs, who still have the captain and his men hostage, start to think that the rescue team will not return or they are already dead. Hence, they decide to start the train. But this only ensues a fight as some people are still hopeful that Jung and his group will return with the medicine. Meanwhile, an old lady, who is tired of all the commotion, heads to the front door and opens it. With this, thousands of rats come inside and attack the passengers. Ling, who is with her brother, can do nothing but just watch from a nearby compartment. In the warehouse, Jung and the others enter a hall, where they see a large nest of rats. Jung decides to go alone inside and retrieve the medicine. But after he gets the medicine box and prepares to return, the furniture beneath him breaks. Somehow, he manages to hold on, and at the same time, the caretaker arrives and asks Jung to give him the box. But as soon as he gets it, he hurries outside and locks the group in the hall. The caretaker then explains that he will sell the medicine in order to improve his financial condition. Soon after, the large nest of rats starts dispersing, unleashing millions of rodents all around the hall. Fortunately, the group manages to break down the door and escape from the warehouse. They then join the trader who locked them in the hall. But it turns out that his son and wife died while he was away. While he is mourning, Jung and the group silently grab the medicine box and hurry outside. They then get inside a parked jeep and drive away, as the swarm of rats dangerously chases them from behind. Suddenly, the dark clouds clear and there is sunlight once again. This makes the rodents hide away in the dark, thus the group makes it out of the town alive. However, once they reach the train, they see the deceased bodies of the passengers lying around. Assuming that their family members have been killed, Jung and the others start crying, but just then, Ling and some officers come out of their compartment, much to everyone's delight. Unfortunately, their happy moment is cut short when the weather once again changes as dark clouds hover above the town. A swarm of rats also gets out of the dark and heads towards the train. Suddenly, one of the officers snatches the medicine box from Jung and hits him in the head. Bitten all over his body by the rats, the this time, the rats have almost arrived, so the entire group hurries back inside the train. Sadly, Sean fails to get back because of the injury he sustained earlier. Before being devoured by the rodents, he calls Wei and confesses his simp nature for her, making his demise even more tragic. After a while, the drug starts injecting the medicine into the infected ones and things finally start getting better. However, the train suddenly stops and the passengers learn that there is a blockade on the track. Junkie immediately urges his fellow passengers to pull the path together, but nobody wants to risk their lives by going outside. Having no choice, John goes outside alone and tries to move the large carriage. Seeing his determination, his daughter, Wei, is soon the passengers also join him. At the same time, one of the thugs straps himself with explosives and horrendous. When they swarm him, he sacrifices himself and kills the rats, giving the passengers ample time to remove the blockade. This heroic act by the thug encourages the passengers even more, and they finally manage to move the carriage. But soon after the train starts, they realize that the current path is leading to the dead end. Hence, John has to manually execute the handle to change the track. But when he gets the job done, he attempts to move the train. He realizes that the tracks have been changed. This is because the handle is broken. Because of this, John has to hold it until the train changes its track. Once he completes the task, he runs after the train as a swarm of rats follows him from behind. Unfortunately, as he is about to get inside, he falls down and hurts himself. By this time, the rats are too near for him to escape. The final scene of the movie shows Ling and Wei wailing for their father since they know he cannot make it to the train. Jung is soon infested by the rats, but he dies in relief knowing that he was able to save his children. Sadly, Sean fails to get back because of the injury he sustained earlier. Before being devoured by the rodents, he calls Wei and confesses his simp nature for her, making his demise even more tragic. After a while, Jung starts injecting the medicine into the infected ones and things finally start getting better. However, the train suddenly stops and the passengers learn that there is a blockade on the track ahead. Jung immediately ushers his fellow passengers to clear the path together, but nobody wants to risk their lives by going outside. Having no choice, Jung goes outside alone and tries to move the large carriage. Seeing his determination, his daughter, Wei, and soon, the rest of the passengers also join him. At the same time, one of the thugs straps himself with explosives and lures the rats. When they swarm him, he sacrifices himself and kills the rats, giving the passengers ample time to remove the blockade. This heroic act by the thug encourages the passengers even more, and they finally manage to move the carriage. But soon after the train starts, they realize that the current path is leading to a dead end. Hence, Jung has to manually execute the handle to change the track. But when he gets the job done and attempts to board the train, he realizes that the tracks have again changed. This is because the handle is broken. Because of this, Jung has to hold it until the train changes its track. Once he completes the task, he runs after the train as a swarm of rats follows him from behind. Unfortunately, as he is about to get inside, he falls down and hurts himself. By this time, the rats are too near for him to escape. The final scene of the movie shows Ling and Wei wailing for their father since they know he cannot make it to the train. Jung is soon infested by the rats, but he dies in relief knowing that he was able to save his children.